In a society that constantly urges us to pursue more wealth, more recognition, more possessions, we often overlook the one thing that brings true peace and fulfillment. Enough of us spend our lives chasing what we think is missing, believing that if we just had more time, more resources, or more opportunities, then we would finally be happy, successful, or complete. But this relentless pursuit of more is a trap. It leaves us perpetually unsatisfied, always searching, never truly content. The reality is that enough has always been within us. You already possess the tools and talents required to fulfill your purpose. There is a profound liberation in realizing that the skills, strengths, and resources you have today are more than sufficient to begin creating the life you are meant to live. When you shift your focus to appreciating what is already yours, you tap into an abundance mindset. Gratitude reshapes your perspective. When you concentrate on what you have rather than what you lack, you recognize the wealth already present in your life. It's not about deficiency, it's about acknowledging what is in your possession. This does not mean you should settle for mediocrity or stop striving for growth. Being content is not the same as being complacent. You can appreciate what you have while still seeking progress, development, and transformation. But the first step is understanding that in this moment, you are enough. One of the biggest barriers to this realization is comparison. Our culture constantly tells us that we are insufficient, that we must be richer, smarter, more attractive, or more accomplished. But as Theodore Roosevelt once said, comparison is the thief of joy. The moment you cease measuring yourself against others, you grasp that your value is independent of anyone else's standards. Each of us has been given the resources necessary for our success. You have unique gifts, talents, and abilities tailored to your purpose. The question is, do you recognize them? Do you honor them? Saying enough is liberating. It means choosing to stop pursuing what does not serve your purpose or align with your values. To declare enough is to assert sovereignty over your life. It means no longer seeking approval from others or chasing pursuits that fail to bring you peace or fulfillment. We must reject the illusion that more is always better. Society tells us that happiness depends on greater wealth, fame, or accumulation. But true success and wealth are measured by what we do with what we already possess. There is tremendous power in embracing an abundance mindset, not in acquiring more, but in wisely using what you have. You can achieve greatness with little or squander abundance with much. Satisfaction is not dictated by the outside world, it is determined by your mindset, your belief in yourself, and your trust in the resources you have been entrusted with. At the core, enough is trusting in provision, knowing that you are equipped, capable, and destined to fulfill your purpose. Trust that what you need to succeed is already within you or on its way. Let today be the moment you declare enough. Enough of chasing what doesn't serve your purpose. Enough of believing that happiness depends on having more. Enough of comparing yourself to others. You have what you need. You are enough. Walk confidently, knowing that what you already have is sufficient to create the life you were meant to live. Too often, we allow fear to dictate the choices we make, convincing ourselves that staying in the familiar, even when it limits our potential, is safer than venturing into the unknown. But comfort is a slow trap. It lulls you into mediocrity and keeps you from the greatness you are capable of achieving. Life begins at the edge of your comfort zone, and growth demands that you take risks, even when the outcome is uncertain. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the willingness to move forward despite fear. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "You must do the thing you think you cannot do." The people who accomplish extraordinary things are not those who feel no fear, but those who act in spite of it. Each time you step beyond your comfort zone, you expand your capabilities, reshape your mindset, and grow closer to fulfilling your potential. It is important to understand that risk is not reckless, it is calculated. Growth comes from intentional actions that challenge your limits while respecting your resources. The moments that scare you are often the moments that will define you. If you consistently avoid discomfort, you will remain stagnant, never discovering what you are truly capable of achieving. One of the greatest obstacles to courage is the voice of doubt within you. That inner critic whispers that you are not enough, that you will fail, or that the risk is too great. But as Henry Ford famously noted, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Your beliefs shape your reality. If you nurture courage and confidence, you invite opportunities and solutions. If you surrender to doubt, you close the door to possibility. Action transforms fear into power. Waiting for perfect conditions is a fool's errand. There will never be a time when you are entirely free of fear or uncertainty. The key is to start with what you have, using your skills and resources to take one step forward. Momentum builds from concerted action, and small steps accumulate into monumental achievements. Remember that failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of the process. Each misstep teaches you valuable lessons, refines your approach, and strengthens your resilience. Thomas Edison once remarked on his countless attempts to invent the light bulb, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Failure is feedback, it is not final. The greatest limitation is not external, it is internal. Fear, doubt, and procrastination are the chains that bind you. Break them by choosing courage, by acting decisively, and by trusting in your capacity to navigate challenges. Life rewards those who take bold steps, who embrace uncertainty, and who refuse to let fear define their destiny. Decide today to confront your fears, to step beyond comfort, and to trust yourself in the process. You are capable, prepared, and ready to grow. Your greatest achievements lie just beyond the edge of your current comfort zone. Take the step fear will follow, but so will progress. Too often, people live their lives reacting to circumstances instead of shaping them. They allow external events, other people's opinions, and unforeseen challenges to dictate their emotional state, energy, and decisions. But true power comes from understanding that while you cannot control everything around you, you can control your response. Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Your inner world determines the quality of your outer life. Emotions are not enemies, they are signals. They inform you about what you value, what you fear, and where your attention is focused. Yet, when you allow emotions to govern your decisions impulsively, you surrender your power. Learning to observe your feelings without being consumed by them is the first step toward mastery. Clarity of thought comes from discipline. The mind is like a garden. What you plant and nurture will grow. Fill it with negative thoughts, fear, and doubt, and that is what will flourish. Feed it with courage, focus, and purpose, and it will yield strength, resilience, and success. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "The mind, once stretched by a new idea, never returns to its original dimensions." Expand your thinking deliberately, and your reality expands with it. Accountability is another cornerstone of personal power. Stop blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck. Taking full responsibility for your life is the moment you reclaim your authority. It is not about guilt or self-criticism. It is about recognizing that your choices, not external factors, shape your destiny. Consistency is the engine of transformation. A single decision, no matter how bold, is insufficient without sustained action. Daily habits, repeated with focus and intent, create momentum that compounds over time. Each choice, each small act builds the life you envision. As Aristotle noted, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Equally important is the power of reflection. Pause regularly to evaluate your actions, assess your growth, and realign with your purpose. Without reflection, you drift with it, you navigate life with intention. Remember, life is less about events and more about your response to them. Mastering your mind, taking responsibility, cultivating disciplined habits, and reflecting with clarity are the foundations of influence and success. The world will challenge you, but your power lies in how you rise above those challenges, shape your choices, and create a life aligned with your highest vision. Step into that power today. Decide that no circumstance or external force will dictate your state of mind or the trajectory of your life. Your strength begins within, and every thought, choice, and action from this point onward builds the future you deserve. Many people underestimate the power of focus. They scatter their energy across countless tasks, distractions, and obligations, believing that being busy equates to being productive. But the truth is that scattered effort yields minimal results. Concentration is the secret that transforms ordinary action into extraordinary outcomes. Your attention is your most valuable currency. Every moment you spend distracted or reacting to trivial matters is a moment lost in creating the life you desire. Bruce Lee once said, "The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus." Excellence is never accidental, it is intentional and requires a clear, unwavering direction. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. Without it, focus is fleeting. Your mind will wander, temptations will arise, and excuses will appear. But discipline trains your mind to prioritize, to choose long-term gains over short-term comfort. It creates a framework in which your energy flows toward what truly matters. Clarity of purpose sharpens focus. When your goals are defined and your intentions are precise, your actions naturally align with them. You no longer drift aimlessly, every decision becomes a step toward fulfillment. Leonardo da Vinci observed Vision becomes a step toward fulfillment. Must apply. Being willing is not enough, we must do. Knowledge and desire are meaningless without applied focus. Equally crucial is the avoidance of noise. External opinions, endless comparisons, and social distractions can erode your concentration. To preserve your mental energy, you must selectively engage with what elevates you and ignore what diminishes you. Focus is not just about doing, it is about choosing what not to do. Consistency compounds focus into results. Each day, each moment dedicated to your highest priorities reinforces your momentum. The small, repeated acts of focus accumulate into massive achievements over time. As Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Your habits of attention shape your destiny more than any single dramatic effort. Finally, reflection refines focus. Regularly evaluate where your energy goes, adjust your actions, and reaffirm your purpose. Without reflection, even the best focus can drift. With reflection, your efforts are amplified, intentional, and aligned with your ultimate vision. Master your focus, master your life. Choose the few things that truly matter, devote yourself to them, and protect your energy from the noise of the world. Your results will reflect your attention, and your future will be built by the clarity and consistency of your focus. The way you perceive yourself defines the life you create. Many people underestimate the influence of their self-image, allowing doubts, fears, and negative beliefs to dictate their potential. But the reality is that transformation begins from within. How you see yourself shapes your choices, your habits, and ultimately your results. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Your beliefs about yourself set the limits of what is possible." If you believe you are limited, small, or incapable, your actions will mirror those beliefs. But when you embrace your inherent worth and capacity, you unlock doors that seemed previously closed. Your mind is a fertile ground, and your self-perception is the seed. Plant confidence, resilience, and possibility, and these qualities will grow into tangible achievements. Conversely, doubt and insecurity yield stagnation. Transformation requires intentional cultivation of the thoughts that empower you. Comparison is one of the most insidious thieves of self-perception. When you measure your value against others, you risk undervaluing your own unique talents and gifts. Eleanor Roosevelt famously said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Your worth is independent of what others achieve. It exists intrinsically and must be recognized from within. The journey towards self-transformation also requires courage, the courage to confront your limitations and reshape them. Growth often begins in discomfort when old habits and limiting beliefs are challenged. The discomfort of self-reflection is the gateway to greater strength and clarity. Equally important is gratitude. Recognizing your current strengths and achievements provides a foundation for building more. Appreciation for what you already possess shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, empowering you to take confident steps forward. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Cultivating positive, affirming thoughts about yourself fuels growth. Finally, action is the ultimate proof of transformed self-perception. Thinking differently is only the beginning. Translating new beliefs into consistent behavior is where real change occurs. When you act in alignment with your worth and potential, the world responds to the confidence you project. Transforming your self-perception is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. With awareness, reflection, and deliberate action, you can reshape your identity, expand your possibilities, and live a life that reflects your true potential. Believe in yourself, honor your capabilities, and step fully into the power that has always been yours. The foundation of personal growth lies in understanding the power of your mindset. How you perceive yourself and your abilities directly influence the life you create. Many people underestimate this truth, letting self-doubt and fear limit their potential. But real transformation begins internally with the way you think about yourself. Albert Einstein once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Your beliefs shape your actions and determine what you achieve. If you see yourself as incapable, your efforts will mirror that belief. But when you recognize your capacity and worth, you unlock doors that previously seemed closed. Your mind is like fertile soil, and your self-perception is the seed you plant. Cultivate confidence, resilience, and ambition, and these qualities will manifest in your life. Negativity and doubt, however, only produce stagnation. Transformation requires conscious attention to the thoughts you nurture. Comparison is one of the most dangerous thieves of self-worth. Measuring yourself against others diminishes the value of your unique talents. Eleanor Roosevelt wisely said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Your value is intrinsic and independent of anyone else's achievements. It must be recognized internally. True self-transformation also demands courage, the willingness to confront your limitations and reframe them. Growth often begins in discomfort, as old habits and limiting beliefs are challenged. This discomfort is necessary for building strength, clarity, and self-assurance. Gratitude plays a crucial role. Appreciating your current abilities and achievements creates a strong foundation for growth. When you shift your focus from scarcity to abundance, you empower yourself to take decisive, confident actions. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Positive and affirming thoughts about yourself fuel your progress. Action is the ultimate measure of transformed self-perception. Changing your mindset is the first step, but consistent behavior aligned with your beliefs is what produces real results. When you act from confidence and self-respect, the world responds to the strength and clarity you project. Mindset transformation is an ongoing journey, not a single event. With awareness, reflection, and deliberate effort, you can reshape your identity, expand your potential, and live a life aligned with your true capabilities. Believe in yourself, honor your gifts, and step fully into the power you've always possessed. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it is a powerful tool for clarity, focus, and inner strength. In a world overflowing with constant distractions, learning to cultivate silence allows you to connect with your own thoughts, understand your desires, and make better decisions. As Blaise Pascal once said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." Choosing silence gives you control over your mind. When you refrain from reacting to every external disturbance, you preserve your energy and protect your inner peace. Noise, drama, and chaos may surround you, but by practicing stillness, you create a sanctuary within yourself where focus and creativity can thrive. Silence also fosters deep self-awareness. In moments of quiet reflection, you gain insight into your emotions, your motivations, and the patterns that influence your actions. Leonardo da Vinci wisely noted, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." By embracing simplicity in thought and speech, you allow your mind to perceive what is essential and discard what is trivial. Listening is another key benefit of silence. When you quiet your own voice, you can truly hear others and understand the world more clearly. Great ideas often emerge in the stillness, and solutions to problems become more visible. In this way, silence becomes a tool for both personal growth and effective leadership. Silence does not imply passivity. On the contrary, it is an active choice that requires discipline and awareness. It is the conscious decision to avoid unnecessary noise, to step back from distractions, and to focus on what truly matters. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Practicing silence strengthens your emotional resilience. By not reacting impulsively to external pressures, you maintain composure and clarity, even in challenging situations. It allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than be driven by emotion, creating space for deliberate and impactful action. Ultimately, silence is a pathway to mastery over yourself. It nurtures mindfulness, sharpens judgment, and deepens understanding. By making silence a daily practice, you cultivate a mind capable of focus, a heart capable of peace, and a life aligned with your highest purpose. Gratitude is one of the most transformative practices you can cultivate. It is the lens through which we view the world, shaping our perception of abundance and fulfillment. When you choose to focus on what you already have, rather than what is missing, you unlock a mindset of richness and possibility. As Cicero wisely stated, gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others. Too often we look outward for happiness, believing that more possessions, more recognition, or more achievements will bring satisfaction. But true fulfillment starts within. Recognizing the gifts, opportunities, and blessings already present in your life shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance. It allows you to see the richness of your experiences and the value in your relationships. Gratitude is not just an acknowledgement of the good things in life, it is an active practice. By consciously appreciating small moments, kind gestures, or lessons learned through challenges, you cultivate resilience, joy, and inner strength. William James once said, "The deepest craving of human nature is the need to be appreciated." Gratitude allows you to satisfy that craving from within, without relying on external approval. Expressing gratitude strengthens connections with others. When you recognize the value others bring into your life, you foster deeper relationships built on mutual respect and care. Gratitude shifts your attention away from comparison and competition, enabling you to celebrate the success of others without diminishing your own. At the same time, gratitude empowers personal growth. It transforms setbacks into lessons, challenges into opportunities, and ordinary moments into sources of insight and inspiration. By appreciating the present, you become more capable of shaping a future aligned with your purpose and values. Ultimately, practicing gratitude is a declaration that what you have right now is enough. It is a conscious choice to honor your current resources, strengths, and experiences while remaining open to growth and transformation. In this way, gratitude is both a mindset and a way of life. It connects you to abundance, fuels resilience, and allows you to live with clarity, contentment, and joy. Contentment and complacency are often misunderstood as being the same, but they are fundamentally different. Contentment is the ability to be at peace with your present circumstances, recognizing the value of what you have while still striving for growth. It is an internal state of satisfaction, a quiet confidence that what you have now is enough. Complacency, on the other hand, is stagnation. It occurs when you stop challenging yourself, believing that the status quo is sufficient, even when your potential is far greater. Aristotle once said, "Happiness depends upon ourselves." Contentment allows you to appreciate the present without losing sight of the possibilities for the future. It encourages a balanced approach, enjoying the journey, valuing progress, and recognizing achievements, all while maintaining the desire to improve. Complacency, however, prevents growth, keeping you trapped in comfort zones where your skills, talents, and potential lie dormant. Recognizing your unique gifts is essential to personal fulfillment. Everyone has talents, strengths, and abilities that can contribute meaningfully to their life and to others. Often, these gifts emerge through challenges, perseverance, and self-reflection. Paying attention to what brings you joy, energy, and purpose can reveal your natural gifts. Feedback from others can also highlight your strengths, but the key is to recognize and value them yourself without constant reliance on external validation. External validation can be tempting. It feels good to be recognized, but it is limited and fleeting. Your sense of worth should come from within. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. When you stop depending on others' approval, you gain freedom to make choices that align with your values, passions, and purpose. Internal validation builds resilience, self-confidence, and the courage to pursue meaningful goals, even in the face of criticism or setbacks. Saying enough is a powerful act of self-empowerment. It is about setting boundaries, prioritizing your well-being, and protecting your peace. It means letting go of relationships, circumstances, or obligations that drain your energy or limit your growth. Saying enough is not selfish, it is self-respect and self-care. By choosing where to invest your time, energy, and resources, you create space for opportunities and experiences that truly align with your purpose. The fallacy of more is the belief that accumulating wealth, possessions, or recognition will lead to lasting fulfillment. This mindset keeps people in a cycle of constant striving, never satisfied, always comparing themselves to others. True abundance is not measured by quantity, but by the wisdom and intention with which you use your resources. As Seneca noted, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Fulfillment comes from appreciating what you already have and using it wisely to create a meaningful life. Transforming your mindset is essential for personal growth. Your thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions shape how you respond to challenges, pursue opportunities, and navigate life. A growth mindset recognizes that abilities can develop, that failure is a teacher, and that each experience is a chance to learn. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." By viewing obstacles as lessons rather than setbacks, you cultivate resilience, creativity, and confidence. Being present in the moment is another key aspect of mindset transformation. Focusing on the now allows you to engage fully with your experiences, make informed choices, and cultivate gratitude for what already exists in your life. Mindfulness grounds you, reduces stress, and connects you to the richness of daily living. Ultimately, self-sufficiency and internal validation empower you to live authentically and with purpose. By relying on your own abilities, cultivating your gifts, and embracing contentment without complacency, you become the creator of your own destiny. Life's power is not found in external approval or endless accumulation, but in recognizing that you already have what you need to thrive and make a meaningful impact. Time is the most valuable resource you have, yet most people treat it carelessly, spending hours on trivial matters or other people's priorities. Success, fulfillment, and impact are directly tied to how you manage your time. Warren Buffett once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." Every choice you make about how you spend your day determines the life you build. Focus is the key to turning potential into achievement. Distractions are everywhere: social media, endless notifications, and the demands of others, but your ability to concentrate on your priorities sets high achievers apart. The mind works best when it is directed toward a single purpose. Leonardo da Vinci reminded us, "It had long since come to my attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things." Being intentional about where you invest your energy ensures progress rather than mere busyness. Prioritization is a skill, not a habit. Understanding what truly matters and saying no to everything else allows you to protect your time and energy. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Giving your best to the most important areas of life, your goals, relationships, and personal growth requires discipline. It's not about doing more, but about doing what counts. Stephen Covey emphasized the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Avoiding comparison is critical for focus. Looking at others' achievements or measuring yourself against their standards is a trap that steals energy and clarity. Your journey is unique, and your success is determined by your own standards, efforts, and vision. Henry David Thoreau said, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined. Following your own path rather than imitating others is the surest way to fulfillment and meaningful accomplishment. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. Motivation fluctuates, but discipline sustains progress even when enthusiasm fades. The ability to consistently act in alignment with your priorities, regardless of feelings or circumstances, defines those who achieve extraordinary results. As Aristotle noted, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Reflection and adaptation are essential in using your time wisely. Periodically assessing how you spend your days, what brings value, and what wastes energy ensures continuous improvement. Adjustments allow you to align your actions with your evolving goals and vision, keeping your life intentional rather than reactive. Lastly, mastery over your time cultivates freedom. Freedom to pursue passion, freedom to create impact, and freedom to live intentionally. Life is a finite resource. Using it wisely is a measure of respect for yourself and the opportunities you have. Benjamin Franklin wisely stated, "Lost time is never found again. Every moment is an investment, and the return depends on how consciously you spend it." By embracing focus, prioritization, discipline, and reflection, you reclaim control over your life. You no longer drift through days dictated by distractions or the expectations of others. Instead, you move deliberately toward your goals, values, and vision. Time becomes your ally, not your enemy, and every day becomes a step closer to the life you truly desire.